All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the recap. Michael D'Angelo here, my partner in crime, Mr. Big D, Daryl Ortiz. I'm taking some time off today. It's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day, Big D. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. You know, it's being a dad is one of the greatest things that you can do, but also know it's a lot of work. So keep working, keep doing good things, everyone. So you got me this week for the recap. I'll try to keep it brief. We're going to talk about Raw and SmackDown from this week as we head into, well, gosh, we're getting close to Night of Champions. I think it's coming up in a couple of weeks. That's moving along really, really quickly. And then we're already in full swing for the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments, which feels like they're very abrupt and coming up very, very quickly because they are. But let's dive right into it. So Monday Night Raw, we saw John Cena out first. He cut a promo kind of talking about his dates that were left. So he originally had 36 dates. Now the new count, he's down to 19 dates that are left. And they talks about he's going to beat the best. And then CM Punk came out because, of course, he's the best in the world. So CM Punk has got to come out and say something. Basically, long story short, they're going to face off at Night of Champions for the WWE Championship. Obviously, John Cena is probably going to retain there. You briefly at the end of their exchange had Seth Rollins come out and hold up the briefcase ominously. That's it. Clearly teasing a cash-in attempt at Night of Champions. We'll see if that actually comes to fruition. What else happened on Raw? We have Chad Gable versus AJ Styles. It was a good match. AJ won it. Good stuff. And then we dove right into the King and Queen of the Ring quarterfinals. So it's a little bit different this year. Normally they just have like a first round, quarterfinals, semifinals, finals. That's how they've done it historically, and it's always been singles matches. So this year we're going straight into the quarterfinals, and the quarterfinals are all fatal four-way matches, which I gotta tell you, I am not a fan of this format. I'd love to hear what you all think about it. I just don't like the fact that it feels like it's more rushed because they're like, let's just do these larger matches. We can include more people in them and then jump right into the semifinals after this. So it feels rushed. I don't like the fatal four-way format for this because for me, it feels like they're just doing it to protect people. Like this is a way to have all these superstars in there, but you don't want anybody to lose clean, or you want there to be controversy, so it's a no DQ. And so you bunch them all together. So even if you have a couple of high-profile superstars in the same fatal four-way, it allows them to same face. And then whoever's kind of the lowest person on the totem pole in that match, you can tell is going to be the one that takes the pin. So I don't like it. It feels cheap. What was cool about King of the Ring originally, and then now King and Queen of the Ring, is this was like a forum for superstars who were maybe in that mid tier to kind of come up, work their way through that bracket, and have initially it was just the reward and the title of King of the Ring or Queen of the Ring. Now they've added the stipulation where you get a title shot, which that feels a little overused now. WWE is doing this quite a bit, where everything is, well, if you win, you get a title shot. So Royal Rumble, you win, you get a title shot. Elimination Chamber, you win, you get a title shot. Now, Money in the Bank, you get a title shot anytime, anywhere, which is cool. It's a little bit different. And now, King and Queen of the Ring, you win, you get a title shot. That trope's a little overused now, but nevertheless, this is also a great opportunity to allow people to catapult themselves into the world title picture. You saw Gunther do that when he won King of the Ring last year. So it would be nice if that's where they were going with, if they're going to use that format to really propel somebody from the mid card up. We'll see. I mean, it feels like the way that they're telling the story right now, we're going to see a lot of retreads and people who are former champions just kind of using this opportunity to get back into the title picture. But we had our first Queen of the Ring qualifier right after the AJ Styles match, and that was Roxanne Perez, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, and Kairi Sane. So I bet you can figure out who took the pin here. And it ended up winning because Raquel Rodriguez interfered to cost Rhea the win. Roxanne Perez ended up advancing, which I think was the right choice here because, again, you want to use this to amplify a younger star. She, of course, got the pin over. Who do you think? Kairi Sane, because she's the lowest person on the totem pole there. But you had Rhea almost winning, and she should have won, but Raquel Rodriguez came in to interfere on Liv Morgan's behalf, and so that really cost her. So she didn't really lose. She was kind of cheated. Again, I don't like that. You're spending too much time trying to keep things to where you're ultra protecting everybody in the match so they don't take the loss, and they didn't screw up. They didn't miss the opportunity. So it feels a little cheap to me. But Roxanne Perez does advance to Queen of the Ring. After this, you got Becky Lynch out for the Intercontinental title. She was bragging about how great she was. This promo was a little silly because she was like, Lyra was trying to kill me after she won. She's a crazy bird lady. It was a little over the top. She wanted her to come back up and hold her hand up again and do it right. And I was like, I'm just kind of done with this. I'm not a huge fan of this feud. before the last two title matches. Still not. Lyra did come out, and then while Lyra came out to confront Becky, and Becky was looking at her coming up the ramp, Bayley appeared to attack Becky from behind, and then Becky ran away. So this is also kind of rehashing their feud where. Remember, Becky Lynch was the one who took out Bayley backstage before their tag match at WrestleMania. So kind of reigniting that feud. Nice to see Bayley back on TV again. And then right after this, R-Truth just ran and climbed up on the announce desk and cut a promo. It was a good promo. He did his whole, he's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Put some respect on his name. He's Ron Killing, so steering into using his own name. Surprisingly, he cut his dreads off. I think that was kind of the symbolic. Here's a change. He's going to be more serious. It's not all goofball comedy stuff. He's motivated. He's upset. He's angry. Cuts his dreads. New look. Good stuff. Always great to see Ron Killings back. And then you had the next King of the Ring qualifier, which was Penta versus Dominic Mysterio versus Braun Breaker versus Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn advanced in this one because, again, in the no DQ format, LA Knight ran out and took out Braun Breaker with the BFT, allowing Sami to pick up the win. And then there would be consequences to this later for LA Knight on SmackDown, which I was not happy about either, but we'll get to that a little bit later. So Sami advances on the men's side for King of the Ring. They also did a little teaser for Asuka returning. She's going to be in the Queen of the Ring tournament, and it would have been nicer for her to be like a surprise mystery participant in Queen of the Ring versus doing an announcement because she's been gone for so long. I think it would have been a good opportunity for a pop there, but they just said, by the way, Asuka's back next week. So there's that. After this, we had Nikki Bella, which had been heavily promoted that she was going to be returning. She came out, kind of cut a weak promo promoting Evolution, and then Liv Morgan came down and beat her up. That's basically it. There's not a whole heck of a lot more to say there. And then that led us to the main event, which was Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. And this, in surprising fashion, Gunther won clean by choking Jey out. So Jey had made Gunther tap now. Gunther choked Jey unconscious, took the title. So this was a big surprise to me until I thought about it and had a chance, obviously, to see all the prognostication online for what this could mean for Gunther. But it's a shame Jey's title run ended after less than 60 days. I think it was like 56 days or something. His title run's over. And this is allegedly setting up Gunther versus Goldberg in Goldberg's retirement match, which is going to happen in Atlanta, which I am not looking forward to. I wasn't looking forward to it when they teased it before, where Gunther was talking smack to Goldberg at ringside months ago, and Goldberg shouldn't be in a world title match. I still have resentful feelings to when Goldberg was brought in to face The Fiend and then squashed The Fiend when The Fiend was at the height of his powers and won the Universal title. That upset me at the time that it happened because they shouldn't have done that to The Fiend, which is a great character, an unstoppable heel monster character. To have a very aged Goldberg come out and do that. This is Goldberg's 50th retirement match. He keeps coming back and wrestling against other people. So I am not looking forward to seeing this. And each match has been progressively worse. If you saw him versus The Undertaker in Saudi Arabia, they nearly killed each other multiple times, dropped each other on their heads multiple times. So I am not looking forward I know Gunther can get a good match out of anybody, but this just, it feels silly, and I sure hope that they don't have him beat Gunther and with the world championship, and then do something silly where there's like a cash in afterwards, where Seth Rollins cashes in and beats him, so that way they take the title off him because he's retired. That would suck. But we'll see how this plays out. But I got a feeling at least it's going to culminate in the retirement match. So that was it for Monday Night Raw. Opening up on Friday Night SmackDown, we saw John Cena again. He came out and then he talked about his Mount Rushmore of wrestling, which is him 4 times, which is kind of funny. He ran down the crowd again, and then Cody Rhodes came out and interrupted, who cut a promo on John. Then Randy Orton came out and cut a brief promo. Then LA Knight came out, cut the best promo of the segment, and then Cena just started walking out because he was upset. And then you saw R-Truth again. R-Truth jumped John Cena from behind as he was leaving and attacked him, which incensed John Cena, really upset him. You saw him in the back later yelling at Nick Aldis in a very animated fashion. It was very over the top. You couldn't hear the audio, but it was the commentators talking, and you see John like yelling and adjusting his hat and doing all this. So it was kind of funny. But this opened the door for the men's qualifier match, which was Randy Orton, LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, and Aleister Black. And this was a great match, but again, outside interference. You saw Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker show up because LA Knight interfered in Braun's match. So they showed up, took out LA Knight. Unfortunately, because I was hoping LA Knight was going to win King of the Ring, because they have done LA Knight so dirty and not letting him win Money in the Bank. taking away opportunity after opportunity. I'm like, King of the Ring is going to be a good one. I feel like he got the best pop when during that opening promo. The fans are behind him. The time's running, the clock's running out on LA Knight's career at this point. So they really need to give him a world title run. So that sucks. He doesn't win here. You had a great match. Carmelo Hayes got caught midair in an RKO, and Randy Orton advances. So Randy Orton advancing again. Last year he was in the finals against Gunther. This year he's advancing now to the semifinals. So good luck to Randy Orton. We'll see. We'll see who ends up coming out on top, because we had another qualifier later for the men's Money in the Bank. Then we saw Jacob Fatu come out and then explain his actions against Solo at Money in the Bank. He's so over with the crowd. It's amazing and awesome. He cut a great promo, interrupted by Solo, and Solo basically said he's giving him until next week to tell him he loves him. It's like, there's just 4 words I want to hear from you. I love you, Solo. You got till next week to tell me you love me. And it was like, okay, it's a little weird, but all right. So he's got until next week to tell Solo that he loves him. So looking forward to that. We then had women's Money in the Bank, women's Queen of the Ring qualifier. And it's Jade Cargill versus Piper Niven versus Nia Jax versus Michin. And then you had, of course, Jade pinning Piper. She's not going to pin Nia Jax. Jade pins Piper. And then she advances to face Roxanne Perez. It's going to be Jade Cargill versus Roxanne Perez in the semifinals, which will be interesting. You have to imagine on paper Jade should win that easily. I am sure there'll be some sort of interference. Nia Jax, somebody's going to come after Jade to kind of allow Roxanne Perez to go to the finals. So it feels like they're giving her this push here, but we'll see. But Jade advances. Naomi came out, cut a promo next. She was bragging about being Miss Money in the Bank, looking forward to get revenge on Tiffany Stratton. And then Tiffany came out just to be like, hey, if you want to cash in, just cash in right now. And Naomi's like, nah, I'm not going to do that now. I'll do it when you're not expecting. And then Nia Jax jumped Tiffany Stratton from behind as this was happening, beat her up, hit the Annihilator. And then Naomi tried to run in and cash in, but Nia stopped her from cashing in, told her to back off, and told her to get out, which is a little odd. I would say maybe this is, Nia just wants to take the title off for herself, but still seemed a little strange. But that's going to be the progressive feud, is Naomi kind of hunting down Tiffany Stratton. After this, we got all the tag teams from SmackDown in the back arguing about who was going to take on the Wyatt Six first. And Nick Aldis basically said that Motor City Machine Guns are going to be the first to go after the Wyatt Six to kind of set the tone, since they're the veterans of the locker room. But they're not. They're the oldest tag team, but they're not really the veterans in the WWE locker room. They've got the least amount of time probably of any of those groups except for Fraxium. But nevertheless, they go first. Good match. Gacy and Loomis representing for Wyatt Six. Wyatt Six, of course, win because this is the kind of progression of them facing off against the SmackDown tag teams. After this, we got John Cena down for a second time. Surprisingly, he ran down. He was angry. He did one of the microphone. He said that R-Truth crossed lines, and he called him out for a fight. Instead, he got CM Punk, who came out and he cut a long promo. It was a good, solid promo, basically just running down John, talking through their history, talking about how John's really become him and trying to buck the establishment, and hyped up Night of Champions when they're going to face off. He started walking away. R-Truth attacked John again from behind, locked him in the STFU, and then security came out and saved Cena, who was running away and grabbing at his hamstring because he was locked in the STFU. So good stuff. Still continuing to build this rivalry with R-Truth attacking John Cena. Maybe he'll help at Night of Champions. You'll see some surprise upset where CM Punk wins the title. Probably not, but they're building this to something. Or maybe you get an R-Truth heel turn. That'd be kind of neat. If he turns and helps John Cena, and it's all a ruse, but we'll find out. After this, we had Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte Flair versus Candice LeRae versus Alba Fire, women's Queen of the Ring qualifier. And Alexa Bliss wins here because at the end, you had Charlotte Flair locking Alba Fire in the figure 8 and trying to get the submission. Alexa Bliss hits the Sister Abigail and then gets the pin on Candice LeRae seconds before Alba Fire taps out. So neither one of them really lost. Again, this goes back to you're really trying to protect everybody in these qualifiers. So you can do the whole, well, Charlotte technically would have won, if Alexa hadn't gotten that pin on Candice LeRae with like a second to beat her. So letting people save face a little bit too much. But Alexa Bliss thankfully does advance in the Queen of the Ring. And then the final match for closing out SmackDown was Cody Rhodes versus Andrade versus Damian Priest versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the King of the Ring qualifier. This one was a really great match too, but again, predictable. You kind of knew Cody Rhodes was going to advance here, and he did. And Cody got the pin on the lowest person in the totem pole, Shinsuke Nakamura at this point, because they're doing a big push with Andrade, continue to do that. Obviously, Damian Priest has had more going on than Shinsuke. Somebody needs to do a study on the fall of Shinsuke Nakamura, who is absolutely great, but they have just misused him so much. He had a very, very small, very short U.S. championship reign. They haven't really done much with him recently, and then he comes out here and is the one to take the pinfall in the King of the Ring match. So Cody's going to advance. So in the men's King of the Ring, you've got semifinals: Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Sami Zayn. One slot left that I believe they're going to fill on Monday Night Raw. So that'll be an interesting way to see how this all plays out. So that's it. Well on our way with King and Queen of the Ring qualifiers. Eventful. And again, it's going to be fast and furious because if all these PLEs stack together every couple of weeks just feels a little bit rushed. So we'll see how it goes. But that's what we got for this week. Told you I'd keep it short and sweet on this Father's Day. We'll try to do it under 20 minutes. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments. We always love to hear from you. Agree with us, disagree with us, or don't. We just love to hear from you. We love to hear about wrestling. So leave those comments and appreciate the support as always. Until next week, I've been Michael D'Angelo. Big D's back next week with me to share more on the road to Night of Champions. Have a great weekend, everyone. Happy Father's Day. We'll see you soon.